Hey guys, StarCraft here, and look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to be going into this with my initial review as it originally started, but I'm going to cut it off at a certain point when it starts to get all spoilery. Because of that, there are some minor spoilers here and there for those of you who only saw the first 5 pages on preview that was on the Indiegogo, but not enough to spoil when things really get going. So I hope that you enjoy yourself, and I hope this ends up being a much better review. See you all at the end. Hey guys, StarCraft here. Well, those of you following my Twitter know I'm reviewing, but those of you who don't, I've got something big. I never thought I would actually get a review copy of anything, much less what I'm about to review. But here it is. I got a review copy of Mike Miller's Indiegogo project, Lonestar, Heart of the Hero, part of his Blacklist universe. Guys, seriously, I am just so honored. I backed this book, so I'm going to be getting an actual physical copy. I'll prove it. Trust me, I can prove it. And I am just so excited to be able to review this. I've looked through it already. It is very good. Very, very good. I just really, really enjoyed it. I have some gripes with it, I openly admit, but nothing that makes me regret backing it. Well, let's waste no time and dive right in. Let's look at the cover first. I admit, when I backed it, I got the other cover with him charging at the readers, but this one is very good, and actually more than people saw it from the previews we were given, shows us what happens in the story. And Lonestar looks like a badass, a major badass. We open up with Lonestar in his costume and gear, looking down the city, and I love the narration. I'm always hit and miss when it comes to an artist becoming and doing the writing duty, but Mike Miller actually does pretty well, especially this opening monologue. I remember the world a little cleaner than most. The air is different now, thicker, full of a seething, misdirected discontent, anger, resentment, entitlement. It's a world of spoiled children, raised by spoiled children, and raising little spoiled children of their own. It's getting harder and harder to tell the good guys from the bad. What we later find out about Lonestar, that line actually makes sense. And he's even his dialogue even goes further as he speaks. But in the sea of miscreant, no, I don't think that's right. Is it miscreants? Okay, very old-fashioned, but again, we'll get to that. But and then we find out he's talking to a pigeon. Is it that better than talking to a gargoyle? I don't know, but I find it cute. Anyway, his spider sense, some type of extra sense that he has, goes off, and he senses fear. He then leaps into action, jumping across from a rooftop until he reaches what appears to be a woman being attacked by, what's that gang again? I'll look it up and put the words in, but you guys know what I'm talking about. That one gang, and it looks like they're about to do all sorts of terrible things to this woman. But then Lonestar shows up and is ready to fight them all. And he does so, dismantling them one by one, even taking their gun and shooting many of them in the kneecaps, leaving just the one guy holding the woman with a knife at her throat. But then he makes it very clear, have I killed any of your friends? No, I don't kill unless I have no choice. So basically the guy in this punk named Ice thinks, yeah, well, okay, turn me in, copper. I let her go. You're not gonna kill me. But instead, he's not gonna kill him, but he's not gonna just turn him in easily. He then breaks his hands at the wrist and then breaks his arms at the elbows. Damn! Wow! That is just... I saw that in the previews, but still, that always gets me both wincing and yet fist pumping. He then looks to the woman who's ready to shoot the guy. But Lonestar stops her. Why? Because it's not self-defense what she's doing. It's murder. Which, again, I like that old traditional, old-fashioned standard of, yeah, beating the guy up. Okay, sometimes it's going too far, and I admit, in one's mind, one could think Lonestar went a little too far. But at the same time, though, there's a difference between beating up a person and to make a point and shooting them dead right afterwards. That's no justice in that at all. Anyway, Lonestar runs off, and then he makes it back home, where we find out his name is Robert Miller, and he's from 1941? Geez, no wonder his views are so old-fashioned. He's from that long in the past. And then we're followed by, going in chronological order, Brando, Elijah Cromwell, believed killed in action in 1952. Then there's Pastor, Jim Powers, believed killed in action in Cambodia, 1973. Then there's, oops, I got that a little backwards. You have Killjoy, Donald and Howell, killed in action, Vietnam, 1972. My bad. Then you have Scout, Locke Skinner, believed killed in action in Beirut, 1983. And what looks to be the newest and the youngest member of the group, Hothead, Eric Escobar, believed killed in action, Afghanistan, 2008. He shows back, and basically they are interacting. And it shows right here that there's a bit of a camaraderie, if not a little tension between, at the very least, Hothead and some of the others. But for the most part, it is still a very good introduction to their powers and everything else. For example, Hothead, he has basically a heated touch. Then you have Killjoy, who can basically shapeshift, and he uses it to mock Lonestar. Then we have Brando talking, and what for a moment looks like Pastor standing up and mocking him and going on. You know how to make God laugh. Make a plan. Make a plan. Ha ha. But if you look carefully in the artwork, you can still see that Pastor is still sitting down. Clearly this is Killjoy, which in the next battle, sure enough, it was, as he's telling Pastor tells Killjoy, knock it off. Then Lonestar heads off to bed and going to go take a nap. But as he does, he has a dream. My guess is he dreams about something happening in his past. We don't really get much of the context in this. But either way, he's up and he's heading out. Basically going out for a usual routine. Pastor reminds him briefings at 400. He says he'll be there. We then cut to a diner as we find out what he usually does every night. He comes to the same restaurant, meets up with this young waitress, and orders coffee, and as she puts it, gawks at him. But given his old-fashioned values, he doesn't look at it as gawking. He looks at it more as, well, just being a normal guy. She finds him completely unbelievable, and turns out they've been doing this for, just meeting up for 6 months. Which I like how she says, happy anniversary. Then she asks him to walk her home, and he does so. Goes on and she talks a bit about herself, and we then meet up with this old homeless guy who looks like he's about to grab her. But he is coming off as, can I borrow $1? Which, since Bobby's there, he then offers him a gift card for some food. The guy and the homeless man is appreciative and leaves. Once they get to, I didn't even mention her name yet. Angel. Her name is Angel. Once he gets her home, she then decides to, because it's their 6 months anniversary, give him a kiss on the cheek. But as she walks in, we see the homeless man drop the gift card, indicating something else is going to be going on. Anyway, he makes it back home in time for their briefing, and Killjoy turns into Jessica Rabbit, mocking him as basically saying, did you get a little action last night and tonight? And of course, I'm Lonestar. I'm sticking to Lonestar. My name's Robert, so I think I'll just stick to Lonestar. And Lonestar is all being bashful at everything. Then Hothead decides to mock him, and Lonestar decks him, as it looks like the two are about to fight. But then Brando uses his powers, it looks like, of telepathy or mood manipulation. I still haven't figured that out yet, to calm everyone down, which actually is a very useful skill if you ask me. We then meet up with their command, Dr. Livingston, I presume. Sorry, couldn't resist. He's explaining their mission, and basically we find out that the whole action, what they usually do, is hunt down, fight, and kill all type of mythical creatures, lichen, vampires, things like that. And he reminds them of what happened to a former member of theirs, Stalker, which apparently he does this often. And then it looks like they're about to go out for a drive. Lonestar says, I call shotgun. Brando then does the Jedi trick of convincing him, you don't want to go and want shotgun, you want to sit in the back. Pastor, who is the driver, asks him, you've never used that on me, have you? Would I do? To which Brando says, would I do that to you, Pastor? That's not an answer. As they're heading off, and Pastor gives him a prayer, which I like. I've heard of soldiers doing stuff like that before, and it is very, very touching and heartwarming to see them still do that as they all prepare to go in, in case something bad happens. And I'm cutting off the review right there. Trust me, any further, and it would get really spoilery. So, that was my initial review for Lonestar. I intend on releasing the full version eventually, but for right now, this is all you're going to get. I'll just simply say my final parts is, this book is really, really good. So much of the stuff that Mike has done with this is phenomenal. His artwork is great. His writing, surprisingly, is good. I'm not usually a big fan of some of them. I mean, Frank Miller is one of them, Walt Simonson, but there haven't really shown to be that many really good writer-artists and combinations, really, that much in the comic book industry. But Mike is up there when it's something that he really wants to do and know and talk about. So, that's my mostly spoiler-free review of Lonestar, Heart of the Heroes. I cannot wait to show you guys the spoiler-filled version down the line. But until then, enjoy yourself, and I hope this is a lot better. See ya!